So if you aren't in the oh, what the fuck? I suck at starting videos. Oh my god. Anyways, so if you aren't in the know, basically, Tails Channel, a popular Sonic news account, has recently informed the people at an Indonesian Sonic fan meetup. Basically, the series creative director, character supervisor, Sonic X Shadow Generations producer, and the Sonic X Shadow Generations director all grouped together at this Indonesian Sonic meetup. So, in the section called What We Learned About the Sonic series, Nakamura states that Silver was originally supposed to be an alien with psychic powers before finally being designed as a hedgehog from the future. Hoshino, when asked about the next step forward for Sonic, he says that Sonic Team will take inspiration from past iteration of games. Nakamura, when asked if Sonic Team will remake or remaster past games like 2006 and hits like Heroes, Adventure 1 and 2, or even consider Sonic Adventure 3, he says that old and new games remain appealing. He has previously said that he personally wishes for the opportunity to remake Sonic 2006. Now, this statement, along with the idea of Sonic Adventure 3, has been mentioned several times throughout the community, or not just necessarily throughout the community, but throughout many interviews. Primarily, I remember sometime around the release of Sonic Forces or Frontiers, Nakamura did in fact state, or some other Sega affiliate, that hey, we are personally waiting on the idea of releasing Sonic Adventure 3 because we personally would want to make sure this is a game that we get right. We cannot afford to fumble an opportunity of Sonic Adventure 3 with that name, because if you have like 3/10 of a brain, you'd realize that Sonic 06 is at Sonic Adventure 3, but that's a conversation for a different. Anyways, so this interview, for whatever reason, despite the fact that that quote about wanting to remake Sonic 06 has been existed for a long time, set the community ablaze in typical Sonic Twitter fashion. So I kind of just want to talk about a couple of the things on here and to kind of articulate how bad it has gotten, right? Maniac, I think that's what, 15, no, that's 10, 5, 6, 7, 17. Maniac 7C, I know my Roman numerals. Anyways, stated at that, there are some aspects of Sonic 06 that were cool and should stick around for a remake has never been a controversial take until this week. Dude, what the hell is going on? Like, dude, would y'all imagine if Secret Rings was remade except the story was completely different? If the original art direction was just not there? Oh, but Shadow Gens is good, so all other nuanced thought processes are new, cause boo-hoo Sonic fan. Now, in typical Sonic Twitter fashion, there has been a complete and utter war about what exactly would be wanted from a Sonic 06 remake, because if you are not in the know, as Sonic Twitter has, I guess, adopted the agenda posting of NBA Twitter, Sonic 06 has been known as the potential man of the franchise for quite a long time. You can go anywhere, and even with something as Project 2006, which is probably going to be the gameplay that's in the background for this video, don't trust. Anyways, for something like that to exist is, I guess, a testament to how much the fans truly believed in the ideas of Sonic 2006, even if Sonic Team were not able to completely meet the expectations, primarily due to corporate intervention, delays, setbacks, budgeting, just completely running out of time and having to force it out on new hardware at the time, right? That's just a blanket overview of some of the issues that were impacting Sonic 06's development. Now, this has unfortunately set the entire community ablaze on what exactly they would want from a Sonic 2006 remake, right? Fidel, right? He came out with the tweet, but we're not gonna talk about that anyways. Triple Q, he mentions that the common saying of why remake Sonic 06 when P06 exists. With all due respect to the guy that made P06, but calling P06 a definitive edition of Sonic 2006 experience is like loading up Skyrim for a zillion mods, including the sex ones, and saying that's the only true way to play it. I have always imagined Sega announcing a Sonic 2006 remake with the title at the end of the trailer changing to Sonic Adventure 3, kind of like how they announced Final Fantasy 15. It will honestly be the boldest decision ever. That'd be fire. Wait. Sonic 06 niggas, when Sonic Team says they like to remake one of their worst received games ever, they no longer have to talk about its potential due to the game actually being good. If I remember, ooh damn, they deleted that shit. Where? Because there was one tweet in particular. Now this tweet was funny as fuck. They were essentially talking about, let me read this tweet for you. You know what, people are right. I don't want a Sonic 06 to get a remake. They'll remove well-designed stages like this. Sonic Team wouldn't help themselves, essentially showing a section from Shadow's Kingdom Valley level. Yeah, it's riveting and revolting gameplay. Anyways, let's continue forward. Bow, bow, bow. Sonic fans against Sega doing a Sonic 06 remake is the craziest shit I've ever heard. The original quite literally has nothing to lose. You know what? I'm gonna be the only one who thinks this, but can we please push Sonic forward with new video games instead of looking to the past? I don't want an 06 remake, adventure remakes, remasters. None of that makes new games that, you know, want to be some more than the old thing again. Maybe we shouldn't remake Sonic 06 for the RF. What is the point of that? Bow, 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 bow. I don't know. No. Alright, this fan base generally can't have healthy discussions about Sonic 06 without being the most petty, disingenuous motherfuckers ever. Crazy to see dozens of people beg for an 06 remake, want everything to be changed, and then harass people who in fact want the game to be somewhat recognizable. Sonic Twitter crashing out over an 06 remake. Guys, come on, please. Secret Rings remake is what truly needs to happen. True! Spitting, this game needs it more than that bum ass shit Secret Rings. The funny thing about the Sonic 06 remake is that it's far from confirmed. It was just something that was briefly mentioned as a possibility in the future. Some of y'all need to calm down. And two, I guess because I can't find the tweet, and that's probably because I just give up trying to look for it. Anyways, a lot of the discourse has been about, hey, what do we preserve in a remake? Someone made an image suggesting that maybe in this potential timeline where we get a remake, that the plot will be rewritten by Ian Flynn with feature boost gameplay and general decisions that will move away from the art direction of the original release. And these are completely and honestly fair and valid complaints, or not necessarily complaints, but worries for the future. I myself have had two games that I've been heavily interested in, or technically three, but two games in two different franchises, or one game in two. Fuck it, oh my fucking god. I am a Yakuza fan. I don't really talk about it on this channel for good reason, and part of being that fan is around the time that I played Yakuza 0 in 2020, my friend alerted me to the fact that Kiwami wanted to release. However, based off of some of the things I've seen online, I decided to make the intelligent decision to play the original release of Yakuza 1 and 2, and I was able to have a much more beneficial experience through those games, especially helping with the transition from Yakuza 2 to Yakuza 3. Right? And that's not necessarily me dissing the Kiwami games, because they work and they're completely fine and playable, but a lot of the charm, a lot of the atmosphere is completely void and taken away from the original. Primarily being, you could argue, hey, the Majima Everywhere system completely takes away from the tone that Yakuza 1 has in certain sections. I don't think I need to mention the big green filter in the fucking sky that completely kills a lot of Kiwami 2's atmosphere. Those are genuine and honest fears. Persona 3 Reload, a game that I personally love, has had some shoddy areas where it felt as if they didn't understand what made the original release so great, primarily being something like the fatigue system that existed, so you existed to have an you know, like an air of realism in the game, or the final Nyx fight, spoilers, oops, at the top of the Tartarus Tower. You know, it's incredibly ironically having the same green overbearing filter like Persona, or not like Yakuza Kiwami 2. And truthfully, I think those concerns about, hey, the original art direction are two completely valid fears. Now, would would they introduce a boost gameplay into Sonic 06? Absolutely not. I don't see how that would affect anything in any kind of way, shape, or form. I truthfully and wholeheartedly believe that if Sonic 06 was ever going to remake, they would stay true to the original gameplay, obviously adding some of the inclusions of being able to fucking use a spin dash and have it actually fucking function and be a viable way to, you know, traverse through a level, stuff like that, making sure the gems actually work. I think on that front they would 110% deliver. And truthfully, I would love to see Sonic Team have to make a non-boost game, because that would be definitive proof that, hey, they still low-key got it. The boost is not a crutch. They can design, or not necessarily design, but improve upon levels of the past without having to shove that mechanic into them, as i.e. like how a lot of the stages that have been brought back from past games kinda are weird, and it would actually allow for, you know, longer levels. And on that note, right, The biggest concern that I see floating around is the Ian Flynn potential emphasis on the potential rewrite of Sonic 06. Now, to me, this is something that I understand a lot of people's concern with. I myself am in a Final Fantasy VII game, and part of the discourse of surrounding Final Fantasy VII has been of the remake changing certain attributes, or how certain characters are in the original compared to a remake, right? That's supposed to be intended for modern audiences. At least I think. I couldn't fucking tell you, but I think that is completely something to be at least aware of, you know. I think completely diminishing everything and telling them, hey, you should bulldoze down everything about Sonic 06 to completely build it from the ground up. But I don't think I'd want that. I think a nice solution that Sega would never fucking do is allow the original version of the game to be ported to modern hardware, or even if it's just Steam. I would accept just a Steam port of the original release. But because to me, I feel like that's the best way. If you know fans are going to be alienated and not like some of the changes that you drop in a remake, cool. Here's the original release. We might touch 2 or 3 things. In fact, we can have a whole fucking third-party outside studio work on that shit. That can be their fucking demo project, is remaking or updating that game slightly and being able to put it on modern hardware. And in fact, you'll get that game along with the new remake. Or you can sell them separately, because probably Sega's about that money. They're going to sell them separately, let's be completely honest. But I think if they were to do something like that, that would completely, not necessarily justify, but I would be fine with any type of major rewrites that Ian Flynn would want to do to the story, because there are ways that the Sonic story can be improved in Sonic 2006. Primarily the Sonic story, because that story has like the biggest issue of like, what the fuck is he seriously doing? Deadass, what is Sonic doing throughout that whole fucking campaign? But that's not the point, because I truthfully and wholeheartedly would want Ian Flynn to, I guess, stay true to, you know, the overall tone of the game. But it's hard to do that because, let's be real, a lot of the 4Kid actors are a lot older. They won't necessarily be able to replicate their voice. In fact, if it had to be a remake with the 4Kids cast, or the current cast, or no remake, I'm sorry, a remake with the current cast, or no remake at all, I don't want a remake, because quite frankly, a lot of those moments to me are special because of the fact that they're played by the cast of the time. You have Jason Griffin's Shadow. I'm sorry, his name is blanking on me, but the dude who played Silver, I don't want to hear Bryce Papenbrook say them fucking lines. I might have to kill myself. I might actually have to kill myself if I gotta hear him say that shit. If I gotta hear him say, it's no use, I might have to jump off, I might have to jump in the game and fight it myself. But I think for a fandom that is primarily, I guess, delusioned, the emphasis on the delusion, and certain aspects of the fan, or not aspects, certain people are misconstrued in believing that Sonic 06 is a truthfully underrated experience, and I think that is utter and complete delusion. You can talk about aspects you liked about the game. Listen, my crazy Sonic hot take is I love the max speed sections, because there's some of the few times throughout gameplay that truly emphasizes and showcases Sonic's raw fucking speed. And I wish it returned to the franchise in a much larger way. That's my crazy Sonic hot take. And then there are aspects about Sonic 06 that I truthfully love and enjoy, but I would not be opposed to a remake as long as they adhere to the condition of you get the OG cast and you have some way for us to play the original. I know that it was available, I believe, or no, it's not even backward compatible, I believe. Even something as simple as making it backwards compatible would be phenomenal. But regardless, comment down below if you're rocking with a potential Sonic 06 remake. Personally, I don't know, I'm here for it. I would love to see them attempt to remake their biggest blunder ever. That would be such a fucking flex, and I'm down with the opportunity. I'm hashtag down with the cause, but let me know how y'all feeling about this, because truthfully, I don't know. How do I stop recording? Oops.